Hello, this is Crazy Man, and I have returned from the ether of sickness and end of school year workload. Today I bring you guys the E10 tank destroyer. This one is another Trumpeter model, and I thought it would be fun to return to these after I really didn't make any videos about my models, since that one nice guy left a comment on my one video about Woodfy Tiger model that I did, in which he thought that my model making skills were terrible. So I wanted to show that fucker up by making some real nice camo patterns on this E10. So this is going to be less of a review of the actual model, because honestly I am not that historical of a channel. I know my history, but I can't tell every single aspect of a tank to you guys for most tanks. So this is more of a look around at the tank as well as a review of what I did to get the tank looking like this and kind of what ideas I had when I was making it. So obviously this is a little tank destroyer, so I thought that it would be appropriate to give it a leopard frog camo pattern. That didn't quite turn out. It looks like a frog skin, but it didn't quite come all the way to leopard frog. It doesn't have the big spots on it, so it more ended up being kind of like lots of little spots with the overall green tone to it, and there are some black spots on it dotted everywhere, as well as the accents that I have on the different parts that are in gray, and there are also some blue accents that we'll be able to see when I take a closer look. And this one, just to take an overview of what I did to get it here, this one I put together the entire model, and I tried to use as little glue as possible so it wouldn't show up in the model, unlike the Tiger model that I had. And this one was a lot easier to put together, which is why not as much glue was needed. And then once I was done with that, got it all dried up, then I stuck it outside and put it through a painting process where first I put down all gray, and then I speckled on with a couple of semi-functioning spray paint cans for models. I had the green and the black, so they were almost out, both those cans, and I thought it was a perfect opportunity to use them to make this speckled camo pattern. So that was kind of how I did it. There are multiple different layers of green and black on there. I think the final product turned out, but not the way I wanted, perhaps. And then, of course, the last thing is always to get the tracks on, which is always the hardest part. And there may or may not be still visible glue on the tracks, because I don't really feel like painting the tracks. Painting glue kind of ends up really bad. I usually end up using super glue on the tracks because they are very difficult to keep on the wheels. So now we will take a closer look at the model, if I can manage to make enough space for that. Alright, here we are. Have little E10 good at you. As you can see, there is exactly one decal on this one. Unfortunately, either the Jagdpanther or the E10's decals disappeared, so I was only able to get one spare German cross on there, which is unfortunate, but I guess there's only really needed one. I think it might have looked weird with this camo black splatter on here. So once again, you can see I have the various things in the gray accented. You can see on here, so like the periscope, all the different little hatches that unfortunately don't open, so I had to glue them in. I also had this MG34, or it might not be an MG34, that's what it looks like. I had that mobile, but unfortunately it was just not staying in the same spot when I was spray painting, so it was kind of flapping around. So I had to glue it down into the forward position. And, you know, we have the shovels and the... Actually, this one just has a shovel and what appears to be some kind of starter of some sort. And then, of course, we have the back. Possibly not as nice of a job on the paint back here. We have the engine starter. That is, so I don't know what this thing is. And we have the crank, 2 different exhaust spots. Unfortunately, these exhaust spots, it's kind of hard to tell where the actual hole is because I have painted in that spot. I probably should cut out the paint there just so that you can tell. But of course we have the moving gun, and I think this thing is a 75. I have to check. I don't know if it would actually say or not. Let's see what we got. Yep, 75 L48. So it's just got a little pounder on it. You can see we have the gun mechanism on the inside. And we actually have a moving periscope on the top. You can see my little bit of a spotty job on the different viewports. A little bit hard to try to get the blue paint off that, or in it, for that matter. And of course, on the bottom we have a more green coat, just clear green, not as much spottiness on it. So I focused mostly on the top. I was thinking that the German crew may not be as good at spraying the bottom of their tank as the top. That was kind of the mindset I had when I put that together. And so there is the E10. Hope you guys think my particular use of paint and whatnot was above standard this time. And hopefully, if that one guy comes back, he actually comes back to look at my second comment, instead of just leaving a comment and then never coming back again. So I really don't like that. At least, if you're going to troll me, please come and continue trolling me, so then hopefully I can talk to you at some point. Anyway, that strangeness aside, I think that all in all, this ended up being probably like a, I don't know, like a 7 or 8 out of 10 kind of model, if I were reviewing it, but I made it. So, you guys tell me what you think. See you next time.